Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Ladies and gentlemen, if I can have your attention as I introduce our next speaker. Following this speaker, lunch will be served. So I understand the energy in the room from the Viva technology this morning, but if you could listen up, keep your voices down as I introduce our next speaker. I'm very pleased to introduce Mr. James Austin Gray II, Council Member, District E. Councilman Gray lived and worked in his adopted hometown of New Orleans for 36 years and has been a member of District E community since 1988. A product of Scotlandville, Louisiana Public Schools, Councilmember Gray received a Bachelor's of Science in Mathematics from Morehouse College and a Juris Doctorate degree from Harvard University School of Law. He also served in the United States Marine Corps for 3 years, including a tour in Vietnam, where he was an infantry platoon commander. As a practicing attorney, Councilmember Gray has worked on desegregation, civil and household right cases, and has served on numerous housing and neighborhood development boards. He is a former law professor and president of Louisiana Law Institute, and currently teaches trial practice at Tulane University. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce Councilman Gray.
Thank you very much. First of all, the first thing I need to do is congratulate the great minds in STEM for the fine work they've been doing over a quarter of a century. As I walk around with my fancy degree from Harvard Law School, I'm seldom jealous of other people. But the truth of the matter is, I'm jealous of those of you who are in STEM and who are about to be in STEM. You have a future ahead of you that is bright, and you're going to be very important to the future of the United States of America. In particular to the students in the room, let me tell you a few things. First of all, my children were educated in the public schools in Orleans Parish. They went incidentally to McMain High. I see McMain High is represented in the room. My son graduated from McMain High and went to Stanford University, where he received a degree in chemical engineering. That degree, and he won't tell me how much money he makes, but he does tell me, and I do know, that that degree has allowed him to travel the world working on technical projects. He recently spent 3 years in Singapore helping to build a refinery there. There's a number of kids who were along that time when I knew all of the kids at McMain who came from what many people thought might be humble environments here in the city of New Orleans, but who focused on STEM topics, became engineers, and have done well for themselves and for the country all over the United States and the country. As it was mentioned, I was a math major at Morehouse College. And I grew up in a time when many people thought that there was a lot of unfairness in the world for African Americans. But I said at that time that math and science was a perfect area for people who thought they were being treated unfairly other places, because 2 + 2 was 4 everywhere. It didn't matter what color you were, what religion, what God you prayed to, 2 + 2 was 4. And science was an area that I thought should have been a refuge for so-called minorities, because it was an area where the criteria was so objective that you could be as good as you could be, you could rise as high as you were able to rise. It only depended on your ability and your willingness to work. Because we're so happy that you're here, we have brought a proclamation from the city of New Orleans for Anna Park. Why don't you come on up? For those of you who are not from New Orleans or the Louisiana area, I hope you all go home and tell your friends and family that the best place to go to have a good time is the city of New Orleans. It's a good place to have a good time. We have great visitors, great people coming here all the time. Occasionally we get someone who deserves being honored, and we have such a person today. This is a proclamation from the New Orleans City Council, and in a part it reads, "Be it proclaimed by the City of New Orleans that the New Orleans Council recognizes great minds in STEM for 26 years of keeping America technologically strong through the delivery of national STEM awareness programs for students, parents, and teachers in underserved communities, providing opportunities for the academic and career development of underrepresented students and professionals in STEM, and honoring our nation's top technologically talented Hispanic engineers and scientists. In the name of, and by the authority vested in the Council of the City of New Orleans, at the request of City Councilman James A. Gray, signed by all of the City Councilmen, I hereby present the award to your CEO,